The Manufacturing Award. Where do we start? The Manufacturing Award, it's long, it's complicated, and there's a lot of moving parts, pardon the pun. But at the end of the day, it's your job to make sure that you're meeting payroll compliance. Most businesses just end up having a certain percentage on top of their employees' regular wages, hoping it will be enough to stay compliant. Surely there's a better strategy than that to stay compliant without having to pay too much on top. But that's why I want to talk to you about the 8 conditions commonly missed in the Manufacturing Award. Before we get started, I want to stress the importance of payroll compliance. This video is intended for general guidance only. You should always consult with a qualified payroll professional or accountant who can provide you with the tailored advice for your circumstances. Now, all 8 of these conditions play a crucial role in being compliant, so please make sure you stick around to the end and write each one down. If you employ apprentices, you must be aware of the conditions surrounding their studies and training. So that leads us into the first condition. Apprentices need to be reimbursed for their study costs, including course fees and course materials. And if block training is required, you need to reimburse your apprentices for reasonable travel costs to and from that training. There's a lot of devil in the detail, so I suggest you head over to our website, paycat.com.au, and download our Manufacturing Award Guide. It covers all of this in detail in a simple and easy to understand way. The next condition relates to staff breaks. Your staff must have a meal break throughout their shifts. If they don't, they're entitled to penalty rates for the work that they complete during their agreed break time. For example, let's say your employee doesn't take a break at their regular time during a weekday. In that case, they must get paid at a rate of 150% of their ordinary hourly rate until they can take a break. On the weekend, it must be 200% of their ordinary hourly rate until they can take a break. Another condition related to breaks is that your employee must have at least 10 consecutive hours off between working consecutive days. So if they worked on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, there must be at least 10 hours between the end of the shift on the Tuesday and the start of the shift on the Wednesday. If they don't have a 10-hour rest period between shifts, you must pay them 200% of the ordinary hourly rate until they finish and they take a break. They're then entitled to not be at work until they have had a break of at least 10 hours without losing pay from ordinary hours. Number 4 is all about employing cadets, which is a great way to develop young people who are just getting into the industry without any prior experience. So under the Manufacturing Award, one of the conditions of hiring a cadet is they must have completed at least 50% of their studies before they get employed. Once they're employed, you'll need to ensure they're getting enough time to study. A cadet should spend on average 20% of the time studying while working for you. For the 5th condition, you'll need to know about this next condition if you have staff who work with chemicals, alkalis, artificial fertilizers, and all the processes involving chemical synthesis. These employees are entitled to an additional allowance of 22 cents per hour. Next up, we have conditions relating to staff on ship trials. If you have employees in the technical field who work on ship trials, whether at the pier, in a harbour or at sea, they're considered on duty until they're back on shore again. The maximum time that they can be on duty is 12 hours. You also need to know that ship trial staff must be paid an extra 25% time on duty while the vessel is at the pier and 50% extra time on duty while it's in a harbour or at sea. And lastly, your employees must be well fed. So they must be on board before 7 a.m. They should get breakfast, and if the ship trial continues until after 6 p.m, they must receive a light dinner. The last condition you may not know is that casual employees have the right to request employment conversion. This means that if a regular casual employee has been working with your organisation for 6 months, they're entitled to request to have their contracts change over to be either a part-time or a full-time. You can deny the request for conversion, but it must be on reasonable grounds. So, a reasonable ground could be that your organisation is not currently looking for a full or part-time employee, or maybe the casual employee's qualifications and skills don't meet the vacant position job specs. While this video only addressed 8 important conditions, the Manufacturing Award is quite complex and has far more compliance requirements. Hopefully you found this useful, and please make sure you share this with any businesses who fall under the Manufacturing Award. Also, head over to our website. You can download our free Manufacturing Award summary, where we cover all of the conditions minus the jargon. And if you're interested in putting your payroll process in autopilot to save you time and money, get in touch with us at Paycat for a free assessment. See you next time.